Opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR driving legend Curtis Turner, with the running of the longest stock car race in history, the World 600, the Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it would ultimately become the home track to so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the 1.5-mile oval track was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond its two founders had forecast. Almost 60 years later, nearly everything is different. More than 94,000 seats ring the racetrack, which was the first speedway to install lights for night racing, the first racetrack to incorporate a condominium apartment complex overlooking the racing surface, the first to build an office complex with the same view, the first racetrack to sell naming rights, and the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with fellow club members at other times. Everything is very different from 1960, except for one thing. Charlotte Motor Speedway is still owned by the Smith family. These days, Charlotte is the queen of the SMI empire, with the legendary Humpy Wheeler managing the day-to-day operations and promoting the races with flair and imagination. The track became one of the most successful in the world. Tonight, it's the Howell Graphics Charlotte 100, and it's next on HBR TV. Take a look at the race details for tonight. 100 laps, the race distance, 78-degree ambient temperature, 55% humidity, partly cloudy skies, a very light breeze at 4 miles per hour. Track temp 105 as the sun is continuing to set here in Charlotte. Expecting this race to be run under the lights for sure, right as we get to the green flag. But with that, qualifying just about wrapped up here. We'll get to our starting grid in just a moment.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Howell Graphics Charlotte 100. Qualifying just about complete. In fact, it is in the books. We'll get to our starting grid here in just a moment. Field getting ready to get to that starting grid so we can get this race underway. 100 laps, the race distance here from Charlotte tonight. Got Derek Welch in the stream chat already. Say, what's up, Steve? Just now leaving work. Got you tuned in. Appreciate you being here, Derek. Again, tape-delayed coverage from last week's race here at Charlotte with the Howell Graphics Truck Series. Well, without any further delay, let's take a look here at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 29.883 seconds, it's Chris Watkins. Outside front row, the number 29 of Heath Snyder, just missing it by 37 thousandths of a second. Row number 2 in the 0-4, it's Brett Guzik with Drew Blaze to his outside. Row number 3, Matt Sisler and Brant Morrow. Starting 7th is Ed Marshall. 8th goes to Chris Gones. 9th starter in the number 42 is Kevin Winker. Starting 10th, the 24 of Jeremy Paris. Brandon Domain, the number 13, he'll roll from the 11th starting position. Kevin Grettenberger will start 12th. 13th starter is Brian Shepard with Scott Beardmore to his right elbow. Starting 15th, it's Timmy Stubblefield with PJ Cox starting 16th. 17th starter, it's David Dufour, the number 22 out of Canada, with Sean Roberts, the number 66, starting 18th. 19th starter is Tim Tokarski, 20th, Ken Couch. 21st, the 0-1 of Derek Welch with NTR. Dan Storm starts 22nd. Randy Coaching starts 23rd. Chris Klein, 24th. 25th, it's Mitchell Howell. And 26th, last but not least, the number 43 of Jonathan R. Your starting grid here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Field just about ready to pull away from their grid positions, take one pace lap, and then get this thing underway in just a moment or two. You see them lined up there in the dog leg. It won't be long now. Again, take a look at the race details for tonight. The Howell Graphics Charlotte 100 laps race distance. 78-degree temperature, 55% humidity, partly cloudy skies, so you can't see it here in the dark. 4-mile-per-hour breeze, track temp now 71 degrees, a significant cool down from previously. It was 105 when we went live, and it's dropped a lot here as the sun has dropped below the horizon and night has fallen over the racetrack. Any minute now, we'll be rolling away. Get this race started. I don't know if they're waiting extra long here to get gridded up. Usually they'd be rolling by now. Clock still running. And there you go. Pace car getting ready to pull off. There we move now. All these trucks pulling off the grid. Now, typically on the larger tracks, you're going to go one lap behind the pace car and see the green flag. I see these guys strung out pretty good already. I'm expecting it to be 2 laps. Typically in this league, they do roll an extra lap to make sure we're formed up nice 2x2. And thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Tape-delayed coverage of the Howell Graphics Truck Series, Lonestar Racing League. This race initially ran last week on a Thursday. We were unable to get it covered live, but the league admin's gracious enough to let us cover it on a tape-delayed broadcast here. Gonna double-header it here. We got the IROC Challenge Series coming up later on tonight, about 9:30 in the East, so make sure you guys come back after this one and check that out as well. Should be a good one. Field formed up here out of 4. Looks like we might go an extra lap. Indeed we are. Pace car stays on the track. So one more time around. Get everybody organized. Make that lineup look nice and neat. Bunch of stragglers from mid-pack on. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, this race was run last Thursday evening, but here we are on Monday, September the 11th. You see the graphic up there on the left. It'll be just to the right of the timing tower when we go under the green flag. Just be advised, lap 11, we will be running it in silence in memory of those lost on 9/11. So your front row looks like it's actually Chris Watkins, Drew Blaze. Bit of a change up there. Some drivers going to the back at the start, likely wind penalties from the previous race. So we're ready. Here we go. Formed up 2x2, nose to tail. Pace car lights are off. Charlotte Motor Speedway. The pace car hits the pit lane. Barney's got the green in hand, and all we got to wait for now is for him to start waving it. We'll be racing. There you have it. Green flag in the air. We're racing from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Working off turn number 4 to complete lap 1. The number 5 of Chris Watkins going to lead him back to the stripe. Bit of an advantage over Brett Guzik. Guzik's up 2 spots into P2 already. Hot and heavy behind him, it's the 31 of Matt Sisler. Sisler making a move to the outside. Nothing doing there just yet. Thought he had a run, didn't have enough space to get it done. Sisler drops the left sides just below that painted white and blue line in the middle of the corner. It's okay to be right there on it, but you drop down below, it can really upset the handling on the truck. He had a moment there, was able to save it and regroup. Watkins now still leads. Guzik still second ahead of Matt Sisler. Sisler swapping lanes, going to try and go around the long way. Builds the run out of turn 2, has him alongside, down the back straightaway. Guzik's no dummy. He's not going to push too hard too early. Got to save the truck, hit the tires, save the truck for later on. Be there at the finish. You can't win it on lap 1, as they say. Or lap 4 for that matter. Sisler up to P2 now. Guzik 3rd, Brant Morrow 4th, 5th is Kevin Winker. Drew Blaze, who started on the front row, we've seen this a time or two, drops back. He's back into P7 here. He's got the 16 of Ed Marshall, knocking on the tailgate of that number 1 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Again, Drew is very good at taking care of his stuff, just settling into a groove throughout the course of the race, making sure, as we said just a moment ago, be there at the end. Blaze tucked underneath the number 42 machine of Kevin Winker. Winker drops back to P6. Ed Marshall starting his free fall a little bit. He was right behind Drew Blaze a moment ago. He's lost a spot now, 2. Oh, we got trouble. The 43 is around. Jonathan Arnn. We stay under the green flag. Arnn drops the gear, gathers it up. It's back in the hunt. He's going to lose a lot of track position. Meanwhile, Chris Watkins continues to lead 0.7 of a second, the advantage here at lap number 8. Sisler in second, all by his lonesome. Brett Guzik in third, a little bit of company. Brent Morrow taking a peek down the backstretch. Again, we've seen it time and time again, too, not just with Drew Blaze, but Brett Guzik as well. He's got pace. He's also a very calculating race driver. He knows when to push and when not. He's taking care of his stuff for the time being. Talk about a hornet's nest here mid-pack. Tim Tokarski, the number 52. Just to the outside of Jeremy Paris. Heath Snyder ahead of them as well. The 22 machine, that's David Dufour. Ed Marshall in the 16 truck, he's lost a ton of spots. He might have been involved in that near miss with Jonathan Arnn. Still watching this battle. For the 16th spot or so. Jeremy Paris has it for the time being. Snyder also making a move to the inside on Derek Welch. And as the leader crosses the start-finish line at lap 11, take this time to remember those lost on 9/11. Laps in, Watkins maintains the lead, and he continues to stretch it out. We got trouble. Kevin Grettenberger in the fence with the number 93 of Mitchell, Howell. And that's going to put us under the yellow flag. Again, folks, my apologies because this is a replay broadcast. The system does not know how many cautions we have had. It shows as 0th caution there in the timing tower, but just know this is our first yellow of the night. We are 13 laps in. And not sure exactly how many tire sets we're working with tonight. I think it's 2 over the wall. Take a look at it, though. First, I want to go back and watch the issue with Jonathan Arnn that happened, and we did not get the yellow flag for it. Oh, so Arnn gets into the 22, or the 22 gets into Arnn. Nevertheless, the 43 goes for the spin through the artificial turf. That was our first incident, but no yellow for that. Let's see what happens here with Kevin Grettenberger. Again, exit of the dogleg. Looks like Howell gets into the right rear of the 57, exiting the dogleg. Not so much that Howell turned into him. He just didn't come all the way up, and I think Grettenberger may have come up a bit just to finish out his turn and carry it out to the wall, not realizing maybe he wasn't quite clear or that the 93 didn't carry his line all the way out as well. But you see their end result, both drivers in the fence. With that, we're going to step aside here, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. On the one to go here, field working through 3 and 4. Interesting fun fact here, Matt Sisler took the opportunity to actually take tires during this pit cycle. Really early to do that with only 2 sets over the wall. He's really going to need to make this set work. Pace car pulls off. We wait for the green flag to come back out, and we're going to be back racing. Watkins out to a big jump already. Quarter a second over Brett Guzik and Brant Morrow. Morrow to the inside of the 04 machine. On the inside, the number 71, that's Morrow. Then you've got the 42, Kevin Winker, Brandon Telmain running in the 5th spot. Guzik closing in just a bit, and I think we may be under yellow again. We are. Trying to find the culprits in this one. Don't have any indication of something significant going on here. Grenberger back to pit lane here. Not sure if this is just additional repairs being made or if he was involved in this second yellow. Came out quickly. Again, cautions do breed cautions. It packs everybody back together here, gets them all nice close quarters at high speed. Everybody's jockeying for position. You're trying to get as much as you can on an initial restart. It really is the best time to do it, though it is high risk and very often does result in those cautions. Jeremy Paris is going to come down pit lane. Again, we talked about Matt Sisler hitting pit lane here, taking 4 tires. I think it was 4. Yeah, it was 14.1 seconds in the box, so that's 4 tires. Everyone else was a quick splash and go. We'll see what Paris does here. Looks like it's going to be fuel only as well for the 24 machine. He drops it and goes. Ed Marshall possibly the same. Yep. Everyone topping off the tanks here, trying to make it all the way to the end. Don't really know what kind of cautions we're going to have to deal with here tonight. It's very hit and miss with this league. Sometimes you get, well, a bunch of wrecks altogether. As we said, cautions do breed cautions, but other times there's been plenty of instances where we've been able to go green to checker without seeing that yellow flag come out at all. It does happen. So Chris Watkins still with the race lead. Started from pole. He's been out front pretty much since the drop of the green flag. Those of you out there watching the broadcast, do us a favor here at HBR TV. Go on over to that little like button, give it a click. We do appreciate that. Those likes do kind of expand the broadcast out to a bit of a wider audience. Get some fresh eyeballs, not only on us here at the channel, but also on the league. It's a big help overall. So it looks like 2 laps to go before we get back green flag racing. Right now it's Watkins, Guzik, Morrow, Winker, and Brandon Domain, your top 5. Timmy Stubblefield, Ken Couch, Drew Blaze, Sean Roberts, Heath Snyder, the balance of the top 10. Other notables throughout the field. Chris Klein running in 15th, Derek Welch 17th, Jeremy Paris back in about the 19th spot. He's going to be fast. Chris Goins 13th. Matt Sisler back in the pits here. He's been there a while. 27-second stop. I don't imagine he would have taken tires again, because again, only 2 sets over the wall for this event. He did already take 1 set. Very possibly might have been involved in that second caution. We did see him really low on the racetrack out of 2, all the way down, way below the apron. Not sure if he was forced down there or what the circumstances are, but unless It truly triggers an indicator in my live timing here. I can't even go back and show you the replay unless I know exactly what happened, but that's the assumption. We got a few guys here in the chat. Derek Welch, Sean Roberts, Chris Goins, all drivers within this race. They might be able to help me out with some of those details. Sisler's going to come down the pit lane again. Now at this point, this has got to be for additional damage repair. The left rear spoiler area doesn't seem perfectly straight anymore. That could be what he's trying to get addressed. Certainly no tires in that stop. Can't waste too long, which we're probably on the one to go here. Indeed we are. So our second caution of the night, just about completed. To be lap 21, we go back to the green flag. Chris Watkins looking very strong early, but Brett Guzik in the second spot. Again, still Battleship Gray on that truck. No stickers, no nothing. And you small businesses out there, be a great driver to have logos on and represent your brand. Pace car is off. Watkins holds him down into the restart zone, fires late, waits for the green to wave, and he's off and running. Good jump for the 5. Randy Cochin trying to go around the outside of Derek Welch. This will be for the 16th position. Derek in behind teammate Chris Klein, the number 51, just ahead. Welch slides up the racetrack just a little bit. Pulls it back down to the bottom. Now it's Jeremy Paris to the outside into the dog leg. Gotta watch these drivers, Jeremy Paris, Derek Welch alike, both very quick in most cases. Running a mid-pack right about now. It's not typical for either one of them. No battle for the lead yet. Watkins still out in front. 0.3 of a second, his advantage for the race lead. Paris now working around Chris Klein for position. Klein now doing the same. He goes to the bottom, tries to get alongside the 19. Coaching slides up the racetrack. 88 of Brian Shepard now to the inside of Derek Welch. Welch up the racetrack, still side by side through turn 4. Just about quarter distance here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Chris Watkins still stretching out his race lead over Brett Guzik. You can see it off of turn number 4 into the dog leg. 4, 5, 6 truck lengths, at least half a second back to the 04. Winker now up into the 3rd spot. Morrow and Domain the balance in the top 5. Drew Blaze hanging tough in the 7th spot ahead of the 29 to Heath Snyder. Snyder's showed a lot of pace this season as well. Snyder all over the back bumper at Drew Blaze. again, we see Watkins stretching out his advantage. That's got to be a lot in part due to the fact that the battle for second place is starting to shape up. Brett Guzik under fire from Kevin Winker. Winker in the 42 was alongside, now tucks back in behind. Through the dog leg, Guzik maintains the second spot, but now the 71 of Morrow, he's closing the gap as well. 13 of Brandon Domain to the outside of the 71, down the back straightaway. You can see just like that, though, as soon as Guzik got back around the 42 and got clear, was able to put the power back down. He picked up a 10.5 on the race leader just like that. Back to the stripe, it's just about 0.2 less. It's 0.6 the gap from first to second. Guzik down below the white and blue lines. A little bit of a moment there for the 04. It's going to open the door for the 42 again. Battle for second down into turns 3 and 4. Winker is alongside, might have been clear. Guzik's going to battle back on the outside. Out of turn number 4, he's still side by side for the second spot. Laps in. Watkins still leads. He's led every one of them thus far. Battle with Tim Stubblefield, and he's Snyder. Snyder goes to the inside. Timmy goes along back behind the 29 truck. Mirror images of each other, the 29 and the 92. Snyder gets clear. Up into P7. And caution on the Speedway once again. Chris Klein involved in this one. Not sure exactly what triggered it. Again, no indication in the timing. So a third caution of the night, 33 laps in. Now at this point, those who have not taken tires would not be at all surprised to see them hit pit lane here and do just that. Pretty much everybody north of P17, so Brian Shepard and forward, their pit stops all indicate fuel only on their initial stop. You may see all these guys hit pit lane here, take their first set of tires. There you see it. Everyone in the lead pack there going to pull down the pit lane here. Snyder thought about staying on the racetrack. Comes back down. Stubblefield as well. Ken Couch, Chris Gones, Jerry Paris, PJ Cox, Brian Shepard, Derek Welch. It's going to drag everybody down the pit lane here. I'll be curious to see. Again, Matt Sisler is not on the lead lap anymore with some of his damage. Again, he took tires early on in this race. Watkins is going to stay on the initial rubber. Fuel only for the 5, and Guzik. Did Guzik beat him out? It's hard to say exactly where that timing line is. I think Watkins still might have won the race off pit lane. So with that, we're going to step aside here, get another quick break out of the way. We'll be back with a restart after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Howell Graphics Charlotte 100, wrapping up caution number 3. Pace car lights are off, so we'll be going back green flag racing at any moment. The next time by, that is. Restart will come at 37 laps. Front row once again, Chris Watkins, Brett Guzik. Then Drew Blaze, Kevin Winker, Jeremy Paris there up into the 6th spot. Pace car's off. Green flag in the air, back racing from Charlotte. Oh, trouble in the dogleg, big time impact. Chris Goins getting T-boned. I think Derek Welch may have been involved in that as well. Caution back on the speedway for the 4th time. I'm just going to straight up rewind it so we can get a better look at what happened. You know I hate doing this, but again, tape delayed coverage, sometimes it's necessary. So it looks like this starts up with Brian Shepard. Gets to Ed Marshall, sends the 16 into the fence. And then Chris Goins really with nowhere to go. Tries to cross over in front of Derek Welch. Welch, nowhere to go or no room to slow down. Drives in the back of the 41, sends him back up the racetrack. And it looks like the 01... No, that 01 is Derek Welch. A couple guys coming in here just pile drive the right side of Chris Gone's machine. Well, there you have it. Puts us under caution number 4 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to take another short break. We'll be back after this.
Don't know where that baby of mine. Well, I just don't know. Have mercy,
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, a lot has changed up in the front running order. Kevin Winker, now your race leader. Chris Watkins went down pit lane, spent almost 2 full minutes in his pit box. Not sure the reasons for it. Didn't appear to have any damage when he came down pit lane. Nonetheless, he is running now the 23rd position. He was leading at the time of caution. What it is. Going to be back under the green flag here. Winker going to lead them to the stripe. Morrow, Stubblefield, Beardmore, Roberts, the top 5. We're back racing. Winker gets out to another good jump. Quarter-second advantage over Stubblefield, but Timmy's closing the gap there in the second spot. Timmy was running second. Now he's lost the spot to the 71 of Brant Morrow. He's going to lose another one here to Beardmore, the 28, into the dog leg. If you want to look a little closer to the Stubblefield machine, one thing we noticed, it looks like he's got the grid line still turned on as he's still painting that truck. It still looks good. The funny things you notice. But with that said, look at Matt Sisler back up into the top 5. He was a lap down not long ago, had some repairs that he had to make on that truck. These extra caution laps are certainly helping his situation as he burned a set of tires very early on in the race. Let some of those laps click off before he has to worry about bolting another set on. And an 18-second pit stop the last time by. I'm not sure if maybe he took tires again. If that's the case, he's out of tires. Possibly, maybe if he's lucky, he's got an extra set still left. But the way he's moving towards the front here, maybe not. Putting on a good show up into the second spot. Morrow trying to fight back on the outside. Sisler taking a peek, not quite enough of a run just yet, but down into one he may. Gets alongside Winker for the top spot for the race lead here in turns 1 and 2. Winker up the racetrack. Sisler on a charge since the restart. Down the back straightaway, it's a drag race into turn number 3. Winker's going to have a little bit of a run on a 4 here into the dogleg. Sisler still on the bottom. Through all this, we've got a whole new top 5 here. It's Winker, Sisler, Beardmore, Howell, and Guzik now in 5th. You see that Battleship Gray 04 trying to work his way up to the front once again. Thought about going up the middle in the dogleg, thought better of it. Sisler still with the lead, trying to hold off Winker, but the 93 of Howell's closing the gap. Biggest mover so far. He's up 22 positions, started 25th on the day. That was Mitchell Howell. On board with Sisler now, almost some contact. Sisler lifts just a bit on entry to 1. Howell now slides up the racetrack, trying to go around the long way. Sisler back to P2. Guzik with a huge run out of turn number 4. He's going to take the second spot with ease as Howell gets back to the stripe. He's going to lead this lap as we are now halfway from Charlotte. I think that's the only lap he's going to lead right now as Guzik drives to the bottom here and quickly and easily takes over the top spot once again. Again, if you're wondering where Chris Watkins is, he is currently 23rd on the racetrack. He is 1 lap down, but not the first truck 1 lap down, so he would need to make some passes here to work his way back towards the front, get back on the lead lap. So right now it's Guzik, Howell, Domain, Sisler, and Winker, your top 5. Howell trying to fight back, look into the bottom. It is the shortest way around, but it's not always the fastest. Howell battling back on the bottom, trying to take the lead back away from Guzik. Showing what he's got here down the back straightaway alongside Brett Guzik down into turn number 3. Howell challenging for the top spot once again. He wants it back, wants it to be more than just 1 lap led. Guzik staying up in that top lane. He's going to build a run out of turn 4. Domain watching it unfold. He tucks back in the 3rd spot at the stripe. Guzik still going to lead it. making another look to the bottom. Guzik goes about half a lane down to block the advance so that Howell has to check up and avoid sliding up the racetrack, but he's also got to look in the rear view and look at the 13 truck of Brandon Domain. He is challenging as well here at lap 55. Guzik slides up, almost contact with Howell. Howell dunks it back down to the bottom lane. Guzik maintaining the top spot. He's just trying to block both lanes here. He looks like, well, it looks like Dale Jr. at Talladega trying to block the top and the bottom and the bottom and the top. But it's not enough. Domain to the outside on Brett Guzik into 3, challenging for the top spot. Domain puts the power down a little bit sooner than Guzik, possibly some fresher tires by comparison. At the stripe, Guzik's going to lead it. Nope, Brandon Domain leads the lap. Cross the line, lap 56 goes up on the board. And we're going to go HBR TV side by side for the first time tonight. Stay with us, folks. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 63 laps complete. Brandon Domain continues to lead over Brett Guzik, Mitchell Howell. Heath Snyder up into the 4th spot. And then in 5th is Sean Roberts. New colors on the number 66 this week. Domain still out in front, just under 0.4 of a second. The advantage back to Brett Guzik. Again, possibly a little possum game going on here. I think Guzik might be saving his stuff for a little bit, making sure he's got something for later on in the run as we got a battle for the third spot. Heath Snyder around Mitchell Howell. Snyder gets him clear in the exit at turn number 2, move the 29 up into the third spot. Sean Roberts still running in 5th. He's got Brian Shepard closing the gap. Just about a truck length off the back bumper is Shepard. Sean Roberts in his stream chat says, sounds like my new livery left Steve speechless. Now I was just trying to read it. Can't multitask. Brian Shepard still all over the tailgate of the 66 machine. Roberts still able to hold him off by just under a truck length. Roberts a little bit of an issue in the middle of the corner. Looks like Howell's going to hit pit lane. Mitchell Howell under the green flag pulls off the racetrack into the pits. Green flag stops just about underway. Right side of the air for Howell. Derek Welch in the pits as well. 4 tires and fuel for Howell. Welch not in the pits just yet. Sean Roberts also down pit lane. Oh, Beardmore drops it down low, trying to hit pit lane, slides up the racetrack. I don't know if he was just trying to get down and stay out of the way of the fast-moving Derek Welch. Goes, oh, and he's going to slide it around and hit the inside wall hard. Slides up the racetrack. Winker's going to get him in the driver's door. Caution on the Speedway. Oh, and still impacts coming to that left side. Caution on the Speedway. Big time impact for Scott Beardmore. Again, I don't have a way to quickly click back for this, so we're just going to rewind it. I hate doing it, folks, but it's the only way we're going to see this one again. So let's back it up, see exactly how this one went down. Nice and slow down the backstretch. I wonder if he just pushed things a little too far, the 28 that is, as far as fuel is concerned. He seems at pace here down the back. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Derek Welch closes in considerably. They enter the corner. Welch has to go high. Beardmore just drops it down to the apron. He's probably got the clutch in here. He's trying to coast it, knowing he's got to get to pit lane. He was doing okay. He gets back up to the banking. But depending on where he is, as far as his pit box is concerned, you almost have to speed down pit lane to make it all the way without the car just stalling out, quitting, or just not making it all the way. Again, if you're out of fuel, you just have to use the momentum that you've already got. And you see, it looks like he lets the clutch out here, and it dumps the truck sideways, and it just sends him straight into that safer barrier. Big time impact. Spits him back up to banking. Jeremy Paris just narrowly escaping. Looks like Winker was trying to come to pit lane. Couldn't get it turned hard enough left. He drills the 28 in the driver door, and it's not over yet. He's sitting here parked, starting to roll again. Kevin Grettenberger in the pits. It's drilled another time. I think that was Dan Storm in the 81. Chris Klein up the racetrack. He's going to get a piece of the wall. There you have it. So caution on the Speedway once again. We're going to take another short break. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, completing caution once again, happening in the middle of the pit cycle. So we're going to have a lot of drivers caught a lap down here. Restart going to be coming with lap 75 about to go up on the board. Guzik, your race leader. Heath Snyder, second. Then it's Brandon Domain and Brian Shepard and Chris Gones, the top five. Pace car about to take the hard left down pit road. Derek Welch talking about having a Code Brown moment, trying to avoid that spinning machine. Brett Guzik in the gas. 26 laps remaining. Big lead, 4/10 all the way to turn number one over Heath Snyder. Brandon Domain runs in the third position. Then Chris Gones in fourth. Brian Shepard fifth with Derek Welch to the outside. He's got now Jeremy Paris to the outside of the one machine down into turn three. Welch slides up the track just a bit, pulls it back to the bottom of the racetrack, stays off the number 24's door. As it stands right now, it looks like only the top 10 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. Again, that caution coming out in the middle of the pit cycle. Great racing here from mid-pack on back. This is actually not even mid-pack. This is for the 7th spot. Welch taking it away from Kevin Brettenberger. Brettenberger still tucked up behind Derek Welch into turn one, trying to fight back and take that position away. Chris Gones running in P6. His last pit stop, lap 71, this most recent caution. Looks to be that he bolted his last set of tires on, or at least right sides. It was a 13.6 second stop for the 41. 22 laps to go. Now 21 for Brett Guzik. Snyder's closed the gap pretty considerably. He's right there. Snyder checking up a little earlier than Guzik here, trying to back up his entry. Snyder taking a peek inside turn number 1. Not enough to get alongside. Still tucks in behind. He's got Brandon Domain knocking on the back door as well. Out of turn 2. Domain taking a peek to the inside. Down the back straightaway for the second spot. Brandon knowing he's got to go right now because he's got a hard charge in Jeremy Paris, the number 24 truck, right behind him. Stays alongside. Snyder defends the spot. Now Domain's under pressure from Jeremy Paris. Paris to the outside of the 13 truck. This for the third position. So we have 18 laps to go here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Shepard and Gones battling for position as well. Shepard in the 5th spot. Gones running P6. I think Gones has decided it's time to get moving. Snyder making a look to the inside for the race lead. Not enough to get quite up there alongside of Guzik. Tucks back in behind out of turn number 4. It's going to be 17 to go at the stripe. Snyder's fast. I think he's got the pace, but he's got to find a way around Guzik and get clear. We've seen that so often in this the truck series specifically. They don't have a ton of power to work with, so it's really a lot of momentum that you have to work with to try and make these passes. As Paris crosses over, looking to the inside for the second spot. Nothing there just yet. Pulls it down to the bottom again, trying to get some clean air on the nose of that number 24 Chevrolet. Guzik still out in front, but not by a wide margin. A truck length, maybe 2, back to the 29, but how long is that going to last? Got Jeremy Paris to the inside of Snyder, down the back straightaway, into turn number 3. Lines up a groove, or maybe half a groove does Paris. Gets it back to the bottom, though, out of the corner. Still alongside into the dog leg for the second spot. Snyder giving him plenty of room at the line. Group of trucks just starting to pull away from everybody else in the field. Again, keeping in mind only the top 10 on the lead lap currently. Still the battle for second rages on. Ironically, they're not losing ground to Brett Guzik while they fight for this second spot. Brandon Domain's there in the 4th position. He wants it as well. 4 trucks flying in formation. You can throw a blanket over top of them. Guzik doing a masterful job defending here. Snyder doing the same. He's trying to attack and defend all at the same time, trying to take the lead from Guzik so he can try and run away. A little bit of contact with Jeremy Paris in the dogleg. How that didn't end in disaster, I'll never understand. Snyder maintains the second spot. Paris all over the back bumper of Snyder now. Feels that maybe he chopped the nose a bit. Chris Goins taking the position away from Shepard. Move the 41 up into the top 5. Still, we watch this fight for the second spot. Snyder doing a great job maintaining it. But as Snyder seems a little bit quicker than Guzik, it seems that Paris is a little bit quicker than Snyder. Brandon Domain hanging tough too. He takes a peek to the inside. Paris goes up the racetrack just a little bit, tries to build the run to the outside of the 29 truck. Snyder goes up the racetrack, throws the block, a gentle block. At the line, it's 11 laps to go. Right on board with Jeremy Paris. He is all over the tailgate. Snyder was going to cross it back over and block again, but Paris is there alongside down into turn number 1 for the second spot. Snyder's going to build a run here, try and defend with the momentum out of turn number 2. Paris still to the inside. Chris Goins taking a peek inside Brandon Domain. Now again, the top 5 still all closely tight-knit together here with less than 10 laps to go. Battle rages here for the second spot. Heath Snyder still has it over the 24 of Jeremy Paris, and at the stripe, he's got him clear once again. Brandon Domain now all over the tailgate of Paris. Domain way up the racetrack. Gonna have a massive run if he kept his foot in it. We'll see if he did. Nowhere to go with it if he does. Snyder, Paris, Domain the high side. Chris Goins alongside Brandon Domain. The Domain in the Bye-Bye Power number 13, Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Chris Goins alongside Jeremy Paris now. He wants the third spot. Coming to 8 laps remaining. Paris and Goins side by side on a turn number 2. A little bit of a draft assist from Snyder. Goins maintains a little bit of a distance there, but he's still alongside. Snyder cuts off the 41. Back on the charge, Chris Goins to the bottom. Goins drives it in deep into turn number 3. Half a truck ahead, but not quite enough to clear once again. Goins the nose into the second spot. Run coming on the outside from Heath Snyder. Goins having a strong run here still alongside Heath Snyder with less than 6 laps to go. Guzik loving all this because he's just running his race, taking care of the tires, taking care of the truck. The guys behind him get sorted out and decide to put the challenge on. That's okay. Guzik's got cooler tires. He's not wearing them out. Coming to 5 laps to go, though. Chris Goins looking awfully stout as Brett Guzik crosses the stripe. 5 to go. It's less than a truck length. Back to the Popple number 41. Derek Welch has cracked into the top 5 once again after his struggles. Up 16 positions from where he started. Remember, 21st is where he started on the day. Four laps to go. Jeremy Paris and Derek Welch now battling for the 4th position with 3 laps remaining. Welch and Paris hitting pit lane at the same time. I think Paris might have burned up his stuff a little bit much here trying to fight for those spots. Derek Welch is right there, not even a few inches off the back bumper. Down the backstretch, making a move to the inside of Paris for the 4th spot. Oh, Derek slides up the track. I think he avoided contact with Paris, but Paris must have lifted to let Derek in without contact. Brandon Domain sliding backwards as well. Again, maybe burned up his stuff. He's going to continue to fight with Jeremy Paris. But back out front, Brett Guzik still with the race lead, but a narrow margin back to Chris Goins. Just about a tenth of a second back to the Popple, number 41, as the white flag comes out. Last lap from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Does Chris Goins have anything for him? I think he might. Takes a look to the inside, down into turn number 1, side by side for the race lead and the win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Guzik battling back on the high side. He's going to have a whale of a run down the backstretch. Goins tucks back in. He's going to have to throw a Hail Mary here down into turn 3 another time if he's going to take this win away from Guzik. Back to the bottom, Guzik maintains the center lane through 3 and 4. Guzik started P3 today, but he's going to win. Into the dog leg, final time, checkered flag, Guzik wins it. Strong run for Chris Goins, he finishes P2. Snyder was 3rd, Welch 4th. Brandon Domain comes home with a top 5 finish. What a race. I think if Goins had another lap or two, he might have had a little more for Guzik. I think he gave it all he had through turns 1 and 2, but it just wasn't quite enough. It seemed the outside lane, whether it's middle or top, was the place to be. Carry all that speed and momentum out of the corner. Guzik parks it on the start-finish line. Barry's still waving the checkers for all he's worth. We don't even pay the guy anymore. With that, that's going to wrap up our race coverage of tonight's Howell Graphics Charlotte 100. Again, tape-delayed coverage from last Thursday. Make sure you guys are here this Thursday. We're going to be on the Bristol dirt track here. That one will be exciting. I really don't know what to expect about it, but we'll see how that one plays out. But before we're out of here, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, Brett Guzik, your race winner. Chris Goins was 2nd. Heath Snyder finishes in the 3rd position. A strong run for the 29. Derek Welch, great way sticking to it. Battles back for a 4th place finish. Brandon Domain comes home in the 5th spot. Jeremy Paris was 6th. 7th place finisher was Brian Shepard. I'll get it right one of these days. Kevin Grettenberger was 8th. Chris Klein was 9th. Mitchell Howell, a strong run, 10th in the last truck on the lead lap. Drew Blaze was 11th. First truck 1 lap down. Kevin Winker, 12th. Matt Sisler, 13th. Sean Roberts, 14th. Ken Couch was 15th. 16th place finisher was Timmy Stubblefield. 17th was PJ Cox. Brent Morrow finished in the 18th spot. Jonathan Arn was 19th. 20th went to Scott Beardmore. Chris Watkins was 21st. 22nd, David Dufour. Ed Marshall, 23rd. Dan Storm was 24th. Tim Tokarski, 25th. Randy Coaching, 26th. 69 laps down. That's going to wrap it up for us here at HBR TV. Again, we have another broadcast coming up later on this evening. Tune in at 9:30 in the East. It'll be the IROC Challenge Series from Chicagoland Speedway. That one will be aired live, as will this Thursday's Bristol Dirt Race here with the Howell Graphics Truck Series. To tune in for that, that'll be a fun one to watch. Again, thank you guys for tuning in on an oddball day and an oddball hour. I know it's probably right in the middle of dinner time for a lot of you folks. I do appreciate the participation, the back channel helping out, giving me some things to look at. It really does make a big difference, as I do not preview these races when they're on tape delay. I try to get as much of it live, so to speak, as I possibly can, so it makes for a better show for you guys. But thanks for tuning in, everybody in the stream chat, Sean Roberts, Brandon Domain, of course, Chris Goins, Derek Welch, all you guys, do appreciate you. So the good thing is you get some of the drivers in the chat here when you do a tape delay, but it is what it is. We try to do them all live. It doesn't always work out. But again, thank you guys all for tuning in. Congratulations to Brett Gusick on a great win here tonight. And Chris Goins, a strong finish in the second spot. Heath Snyder bringing home the number 29 in the third position. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.